Now, let me tell you what a desired magnet property is. These are properties that will tend to outperform the rest of the marketplace over time. So even though a market is flat, these are specific properties with a certain set of factors behind them, which I call attractive factors, which make this property tend to stand out from its counterparts around. Now you can have desired magnet suburbs, you can have desired magnet communities, you can have desired magnet streets, you can have desired magnet homes and properties itself. As I said, these are the ones that will tend to outperform the marketplace no matter what the market is doing. And that's what you want your portfolio to be made up of. A portfolio of good quality, desired magnet properties that really outperform the marketplace. Now, why do we like desired magnet properties? So they tend to have better tenants and lower vacancy rates. They tend to be in better quality areas. They tend to be easier to sell if you want to do that as part of your strategy. And they tend to be in greater demand, which means increased capital growth in the short term and the long term. Now, let me tell you why these particular properties do have these factors behind them. We find desired magnet properties, and they're specifically targeted towards a certain segment of the market. Now, the Australian property market overall, what do you think it is more made up of? Investors or more made up of owner-occupiers? What do you think? Yeah, it's owner-occupiers. Now, in this recent marketplace, a huge portion of overall property transactions has swung towards investors. Just because we've been in an ultra-low interest rate environment and the latest construction and housing boom, it's really swung towards investors. Where investors over the last couple of years have made up somewhere in the vicinity of 50 to 60% of all property transactions. However, over time though, the Australian property market is more so made up of owner-occupiers, where it's something in the vicinity of like 70 to 75% of all real estate transactions across the country is made up of owner-occupiers, and maybe 25 to 30% is made up of investors. Now, in this recent marketplace, the percentage of investors have really been segmented in one particular type of product, and that's mainly been high-rise apartments. And this is what we've seen consistently, investors going in and buying up a lot of high-rise apartments. And look, I see a lot of challenges in that marketplace over the next few years, that's for sure. So, as investors, we tend to want to target the owner-occupier marketplace. Now, you want to understand why do we do that? Well, one reason is that when owner-occupiers buy, they are not buying with due diligence or research or things like that. They are not buying with their heads. They are buying with their hearts. So when they are buying a house, they're not really buying a house. They are buying a home that they might want to live in for 10 years or raise their family in. Like, it's a very emotional decision. Now, when a family is going to buy a home, for example, or owner-occupier is going to buy a home, for the right property, they will tend to pay a little bit extra for. This also makes up why we tend to buy certain suburbs and certain communities than others. We don't want to be buying in an area which is full of investors. Frankly, the tenants tend to not be as house proud as owner-occupiers. So generally when we're buying in communities and areas, we really want to be buying in an area where, you know what, 70, 80, 90% of that area is made up of owner-occupiers, and only kind of 10 to 30% is made up of investors. And so that this type of segment, when we're targeting this type of segment, we're putting ourselves in the way with the opportunity of getting properties that will tend to outperform the rest of the marketplace over time. Very, very critical distinction. Now, let me give you some examples of some investment duds versus some desire magnet properties that we've sourced for our investors over the last few years. So, this was a property purchased by, this is the investment dud on the left. Now, let me tell you how close these are, right? Have a look. They're a 3-minute drive away from the desired magnet to the one you wouldn't touch, right? That's how close these two properties actually are. So, the investment dud on the left, purchased by not one of our investors, someone else, purchased for 2011 for $460,000. Now, the value in 2007, 5 to 6 years later, is only $505,000. That's only a $45,000 profit in 5 years. Not that crash hot, right? So a 7.5% growth over a 5-year period. Now, 3 minutes down the road, this was a deal that my head of research, Damien and his team, sourced for one of our investors. In 2011, purchased for $386,000. As you can see, they were able to secure a discount on the way into the deal, simply because we always go off market. That's where the best deals are done. I mentioned that earlier. The best deals are always done off market. And because we have such a massive buying power with our group of investors and, my head of research and his team have such strong relationships in the marketplace, we can go and get great off-market deals at solid discounts to what a lot of other investors are able to do, especially if you just get there buying yourself. So we went in there and got around a $75,000 discount from word go. The value in 2017, $560,000. That's $174,000 profit and a 45% growth. You tell me which one you would prefer. As I mentioned, it's only a 3-minute drive away. Now, there are certain factors and reasons what made up the dud versus the desired magnet. And these are a lot of things that most investors in the market don't really go and look at because, frankly, they don't know, just being frankly honest, right? Because you don't do this every day of the week. That's what our team does every day of the week. Now, I don't know what you personally do for work, but you might have a level of expertise in a different area which isn't our expertise. Great. Well, I'm never going to go fix my own car. Let me tell you that right now. I don't know how to fix cars. I can put petrol in the sucker. I can pump up the tires. I can add some more oil in it and probably change the windscreen wipers at a stretch. But am I going to rip open the hood and start fiddling around with the engine and things like that? No way in the world. I would literally blow the car up. So absolutely not going to do that. But so many people go out as property investors into the market, not knowing what they're doing, and they're literally committing financial suicide. So in the dud, heavy investment sales, overhead power lines, finance complications, no design covenant, no transport options, poor planning, massive power lines throughout the estate, no amenities. Where the desired magnet, it's an owner-occupier estate. There's a master plan developer. High design covenant is enforced. Transport access including integrated bus stops, underground power lines, natural gas, childcare centres, parklands, bike trails. This is what set that deal apart. Here's another one, investment dud on the left, desired magnet on the right. Let me tell you, these are 800 meters away. This is as you're going down the highway, whether you turn left or whether you turn right is a difference in in a lot of money, right? So the investment dud on the left that you would not touch. But most people who unfortunately don't know what they're doing, they might think this is a good deal. Purchase price in 2013, $413,000. The value in 2017, $440,000. Now that's a $27,000 profit in the space of 4 years. Not too crash hot, only a 6.5% growth rate. Here's the desired magnet that our team sourced for one of our investors. 2013, $405,000. Got a discount on the way in once again. And value in 2017, $535,000. Now that's a $130,000 profit and 32% growth. Again, what would you choose? How are you going to know if you're going to turn left or turn right off the highway? Because that decision, it could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars in capital growth. And again, strategic reasons why one property outperformed another. The dartboard approach is out. Unfortunately, this is what a lot of investors have done in the marketplace and continue to do, especially in the recent boom in the Sydney and Melbourne marketplace, that you could actually get a dart, throw it in a map of Sydney or Melbourne, and you might have made 10% growth year in, year out for 4 to 5 odd years. Now, let me tell you, that's just luck. Purely is. That is not a good strategy for investing. It was just a certain set of market factors that drove those markets to the peak, and frankly, it drove them probably about 2 to 3 years longer than what they actually should have grown. And I'm very, very concerned around those marketplaces right now. So the dartboard approach does not work because the market has changed so radically in the past 1 to 2 odd years. The market growth cycles have changed. The finance and lending has changed hugely, like every week this is changing. Rental yields have changed. Low income growth is what's going on in the economy right now. There's a flight to affordability. The types of properties that you would invest in has changed and the economic conditions. So you cannot just throw a dart on a map and just hope for the best. That's gambling. That's not investing. And you want to be a strategic investor, not a gambler. So question, how are you going to find these desired magnet properties? How are you going to find them? Unfortunately, most people just don't have the knowledge or the time or the capability to go and find this type of deals, because once again, it's just not what you do. This is what we do day in, day out. And we are active professional investors, every single person on my team. But where do most people tend to invest? Right? In their own backyard, because they can feel it and they can touch it, they can look at it every day, they can drive past it and make sure the tenants have put their bins out, they know Bob the Butcher, they know the schools. I get it, it's where we're comfortable, I understand. But is that necessarily the best place to be investing, especially your entire portfolio? The answer is no. Often that is very, very risky, putting all your eggs in the one basket. Now, meet my Ninja research manager. Now, his name is actually Damien, and I got him to do this pose in the office. We like to have a bit of fun with what we're doing. I think creating wealth and building financial freedom should be a lot of fun. But anyway, he was a good sport, so I got him to do that, and I bet he regrets it now because I show this photo all the time. So Damien is one of my team. He's the head of my research and acquisitions team. Now, I've been working with Damien for many years. I place a huge value on trust and having a quality team around you. Let me tell you, my team are phenomenal. They are some of the best in the business. And I don't choose my team based on qualifications. Quite frankly, I couldn't give a hoot how many PhDs in whatever you have. I really don't care. What I care about is results, right? Qualifications just get you a foot in the door. But when I'm choosing my team, I want to know, what have you done in your own portfolio? And how many people have you helped? Now, I've been working with Damien for many, many years now, and together we've helped investors invest in probably over $1 billion of real estate. Now, that's a lot, right? That's a lot. And Damien is one of the best in the business. He spends all day, every day, researching property deals and negotiating with developers and agents and finding deals. That's what he does literally all day, every day. Now, as I said, my team is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I cannot talk them up enough. I really can't. They have a PhD in results. Our finance team, they work exclusively with investors because there's a very big difference between a property investment specialist mortgage broker versus your average mortgage broker down the road. Very big difference. One knows how you get your lowest interest rate. The other knows how to strategize you towards building a multi-million-dollar portfolio. Big difference. I know what I would choose. My property coaches that are part of my team that work with our students on a one-on-one basis, designing a strategy for their specific situation. Again, active investors in the marketplace, gotten phenomenal results, and they work with you one-on-one to design a strategy for your personal situation, and then grab you by the hand in the marketplace and walk you through the property market. So you are making the right decision first time around, and not making a mistake in real estate. Because once again, making a mistake in property investing, it's not a $1,000 mistake. Tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and years of lost opportunity cost. The research team, as I mentioned, Damien and his team, the accountants, the builders, the architects, solicitors, the education team, anyone you might need on your team, that's who we have around us. Now, let me tell you how all this wound up coming about. As I said, I've been working with Damien, the head of my research team, for many, many years now. And invariably, I have seen him find those deals that tend to outperform the rest of the marketplace. It's just invariably, this is what he does. When he looks at two properties side by side, he's going to pick up 20 things different than the average person would be able to, looking at the same two properties that they just wouldn't see. That's just because he does this every day of the week. So when I've seen something happen consistently, time and time and time again, there is no luck behind it. It is a science. So this Desired Magnets really came about of me starting to get that science out of Damien and his research team's mind and put it in a system and a strategy that you as an investor can actually follow to be able to find those deals that really outperform the market. Now, as I said, they're made up of Desired Magnet properties is made up of a specific set of attractive factors. Factors which make one area or one street or one property stand out from another one. Now, when I started interviewing Damien around this and actually started putting this into a system, I discovered there was 5 different checklists that he goes through on a consistent basis when he's finding a deal. He has an area checklist. He has a community checklist. He has a site checklist. He has a property checklist. And very importantly, he has an emotional checklist. And the emotional checklist is about making these properties really desirable to that emotional owner-occupier marketplace. Now, attractive factors. Once again, those things which make two people, stand out from other people, make them very attractive. And we're applying that to the property world, make one property just absolutely gorgeous compared to the one around it, so it grows at a much higher level. Now, when I was interviewing Damien, round 1, I found around 60 to 70 of these, right? And now I know there's another 30 or so, and we're pulling those out now. And our investors get this list of these attractive factors. So here's an interesting one. Median strips. In a report found, I think it was Secret Agent, that a median strip in certain suburbs of Melbourne, on a study of around 15 to 20 odd suburbs in Melbourne, added an average value uplift of $33,000, just having a median strip. Now, obviously, it's not going to be just any median strip. It's got to be a good-looking median strip, mature plants, mature trees, a certain width, well-maintained. But $33,000 is not a small amount. Here's another one. Attractive factor number 70, the ATAR school results. Approximately $19,000 is added for every 1% of VCE scores above 40. Secret Agent report, August 2015. Now, let me tell you, in some areas, it's actually not about the school. In the high school, in some areas, the kindergarten is actually more valuable to that area than the school is. Fascinating, but you've got to know which area is going to be for which factor. Here's another one. Attractive factor number 75, branded residences. Branded residences command an average uplift of 31% compared to equivalent non-branded schemes. Now, a good example of this, well, maybe not so good right now, depending on how you feel about Donald Trump. But before, putting politics aside for a moment, before he became president, the Trump Tower in New York commanded a higher dollar per square meter value than almost any other piece of real estate in New York, right? Fascinating. Now, what's a branded residence? A branded residence is kind of an iconic building. Like, there's a status attached to it. There's an identity statement attached to it that makes it stand out from other buildings or communities or master plan developments than the ones around it, right? So very, very important. Let me tell you, this is going to be a very important factor in the future when we're talking about the growing trend towards lower maintenance living and growing trend towards apartment style living. Now, there are a lot of these, right? There's over 100 of these. Here's a few more. Which way the sun rises changes the entire house configuration. The dead zone in the block affects which side the driveway is going to be on. Do you even know what the dead zone is? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's certain street lights. Like, who even thinks to look at the street lights? This has an impact. Surface used on the footpath, the type and height of plants, the type of play equipment in local parks. Some areas, kindergartens are more of a factor than other grades, and even the type of retaining wall. Most people never even think about looking at these. When Damien and his team are finding deals, they're walking down the streets, counting how many cars are on the driveway. Like, who does that? Honestly, but it truly does make a difference. And this is where you find the deals that truly stand out. Meet Shelley, for example. When we met Shelley, she had a couple of properties in her portfolio already. Had a couple of properties, living in Sydney. Now, she will tell you herself, she really didn't have any idea what she was doing, and she just kind of bought a few properties. In actual fact, we're selling one of those properties right now. So we advised her, her cautious advisor sat down with her. That property is not supporting your portfolio, right? And so if we sell it, it's going to give you an opportunity to do much more. I never get precious about a property, an investment property in a portfolio. What I get precious about is the results it's going to create in your life. That's what you want to be able to, get emotional about when it comes to property investing. But property investing, in essence, is all about facts and figures and due diligence, right? So, uplift $100,000 before construction even started, a duplex deal that she got involved in. It was a Desire Magnet property. I'm going to share with you that in just a moment. In just a few months, this is what Shelley said, in just a few months, I've been able to buy 4 properties. A valuation of my duplex showed an uplift of over $100,000. Now, let me tell you, that was actually closer to $200,000, more than my purchase price, before construction even started. I'm so close to my short-term goal of 10, and I'm feeling confident now that I can reach that target very quickly. Let me tell you right now that this year, Shelley is on target to buy another 2 to 3 property deals this year in her life. Because a Desire Magnet property, when you get these type of deals, it allows you to recycle your equity much, much faster. Now, if you don't know what I mean by when I say recycling equity, what I mean is that when you put money into a deal, you want to be able to see where you can recycle that money out of the deal. Desire Magnet properties allow you to recycle that money out of the deal much, much faster, because that just means, guess what? You can go and do it again. So here is a deal that she got involved in. So the completion is just happening in March 2017. It was a duplex pair. The purchase price was $765,000. Now, this comparable duplex, half a duplex for $430,000. That was at the end of last year. So we're talking around 6 months ago now. Now, let me tell you that another comparable duplex half just sold for $490,000. So this property now jumped from $100,000 profit before completion to almost $200,000 profit before completion, before it was even finished. Guess what? Within 6 months, Shelley's going to be able to get her equity back out again and go again. And it was also a positive cash flow after tax. That's an exciting deal. Meet Vince. When we go and find a great deal, we've got a big group of investors, right? Which is great because it gives us buying power in the marketplace and good negotiating power. So when we find a good deal, we don't just want to get one. We want to go in there and secure 4, 5, 10, 15 of good quality Desire Magnet properties for our investors. So Vince got one of these as well. Now, Vince is a great guy, right? Great guy. Absolute family man. He's got he's got a couple of grown-up kids now. He's all about his family. I keep telling him he should go and run some courses on parenting because he truly is a great dad, right? Now, he's been able to generate a $1.5 million portfolio in 9 months. And this is what he had to say. I wanted to prepare for our retirement because, frankly, he had one property, his own home, and that was it. And he had no other assets. Right, some money inside a super, and wanted to be able to set himself up for retirement. But I was fed up with the experts and ultimately self-serving agendas. The short of it is I related to Todd immediately with our coach, Emma's guidance, one of our awesome coaches at Thrive. We quickly purchased 3 properties. One, a duplex build that earned over $100,000, again closer to $200,000. Capital growth before we even broke ground. Our portfolio is worth well in excess of $1 million, and now we're moving in the right direction. Guess what? Vince got another deal, 12 kilometers from Brisbane CBD. Now, as an investor, our investors that bought into this deal bought it at $615,000. One of the properties next door that someone else bought, which is an exact comparable sale, sold for $690,000. That's a $75,000 profit before completion. So almost 200 grand in the duplex, plus another 75, 12 kilometers from Brisbane and CBD. You tell me, is that the type of result that you want to be creating in your portfolio, I wonder? As I said, 100 attractive factors that you can actually target in the market. But let me ask questions. Let me pose to you, what really goes into finding a Desire Magnet property, right? What really goes into it? This is what Damien, the head of research, does. Not quite on a weekly basis, but very, very consistently. He will go to one city and spend the entire week there. In that one city, he looked at 6 suburbs. This is a conversation I was having with him a few weeks ago. 6 suburbs. He spoke to 12 developers and real estate agents, different people. He viewed over 500 properties and he chose 6 out of 500. Now, I wonder, what made him choose those 6 out of the 500 properties that he actually viewed? Have you wondered that? That's what makes a difference. What makes those 6 for our investors stand out versus the 500 out there? That's why I kind of call him the John West of of property research, right? It's only the fish that John West rejects that make John West the best. Well, I reckon for Damien, it's only the deals that Damo rejects that makes him truly the best. Now, at Thrive Team spend over $120,000 per year on research, in valuations, in different tools, Cordell's, RP Data, Price Finder, BIS Shrapnel, solicitors. This does not include the man hours and the travel and the flight, the drafting, architects, property managers, brokers, and solicitors. This is just on, different tools and valuations and things like that. $120,000 a year. Do you have that type of money just to put towards research? This is what we do year in and year out. And we put together a report for all of our investors on every single deal that we've actually put together. Because, our team is amazing. But what you've got to understand is that this research, so let me ask a question. Do you think even though you provided all this research that you should just believe everything that's written in here and not do your own due diligence? What do you think? No, of course not. You are an investor. You are taking control of your financial life. You've still got to do your own due diligence. But what this means is that 95% of the work is done for you. 95%. Do you like the idea of having 95% of the work done for you? Then what you need to go is just go in and verify the facts. We have 20 pages or more of research. Property snapshot. I record a video for each one around the strategy. That's who I am. I'm a strategist. We get a finance summary in there, comparable sales, valuation, on-the-ground videos. That's the type of research reports that each of our investors get when they're looking at deals with our team. And guys, we always go off-market, always off-market. That's where the best deals are done. If you're going on realestate.com or Domain looking for a deal, well, let me tell you, you've missed most of them because our investors have gone and picked them up before they even got to the marketplace. That's where the investors that really create massive results go shopping for their real estate. Do you want a team that does this for you? No joke, that duplex deal, our team camped out for 3 days to secure these for investors. 3 days in Winnebago. Does it look like these guys are comfortable? No, it's in the middle of winter. They're freezing. We had to go and shepherd them food every day because otherwise they would lose their place. They couldn't leave because they were going in and securing these deals for our investors above and beyond every step of the way. But let me tell you, it's not just about the property, right? The property is great, and that's what you want to think about. But as I said, there's 7 different areas of your financial life you want to be focusing around. Another factor is tax. Right, I don't know about you, but the more tax in my back pocket, rather than giving it out, all of it all the way out, better. Absolutely, I love this from Kerry Packer. I'm not evading tax in any way, shape, or form. Of course, I'm minimizing my tax. Anybody in this country who does not minimize his tax wants to get his head read. I can tell you as a government that you're not spending it so well that we should be donating extra. I love that. I think that's great. But this is the power of what it can actually be. Meet Genevieve and Andrew. Great young couple, really motivated. So they built a $1.2 million portfolio in a very short period of time. Made over $60,000 profit within the space of 9 months, right? Bought 2 properties almost instantly. They're about to go to property number 3. Young couple really setting themselves up for life. But guess what? They also saved $20,000 in tax. How would you like to get $20,000 in tax back in your life? What could you do with that? You could reinvest it in your portfolio. You could take 5 of it and go on a holiday. You could pay down some debt. The more money in your back pocket, the absolute better that will absolutely be. And as I said, group buying, because we have such a big group of investors, it gives us a lot of swinging power. We can go and negotiate some absolutely phenomenal deals in the marketplace. And that's a great thing to be involved in. Because if it's just you, it's you going to try and negotiate a discount. And hey, sometimes you get it. But really good luck for you, especially in a strong marketplace. And you're never going to be able to get the same discount as when we're going in and negotiating as a group of 5, 10, or 15, or even 20 pieces of real estate at a time. We were able to do that in a deal in Dulwich Hill in 2008 at the bottom of the Sydney marketplace. Now, this is a property that I bought personally. 6 kilometres from Sydney CBD. 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom unit. Valuation, $540,000. What was the purchase price that I wrote on my contract? Yeah, $418,000. That was over $100,000 discount on the way into the deal. And guess what? Another 30 of our investors were able to get into this type of deal. That's the power of group buying. Now, you want to be able to actually understand, discover your very own wealth genius. Now, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to share with you a little bit how what the next step might be for you. If you like what you've heard so far, after watching this webcast so far, you may want to benefit from some of the strategies that we've spoken about. So I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to share with you what the next step is going to be. Absolutely nothing you can buy tonight, but there's an opportunity for you to speak to one of our senior consultants and really see if this might be the right thing for you, and so you can actually understand what your next best step is. Now, after I do this, just literally take 1 or 2 minutes. I'm then going into a little bonus session, which is all about discovering your wealth genius, which is a really, really critical factor. And I'm going to share with that just after this. So let me just share with you right now what your next step might be. So, do you want to discover your very own wealth genius? So stay tuned after this. I'm going to be going through exactly what that is. But it's all about playing the wealth game and the money game by your set of rules and stop playing by someone else's set of rules or the society's rules, which is really just based around go to work and exchange time for money, which, as we know, does not work. It just leads to a life of financial slavery. Do you want to have a strategy designed for your personal situation where you're working with a coach one-on-one who grabs you by the hand and walks you through the marketplace? Do you want to have a fast track around your finance and be able to navigate the current finance maze? Very, very critical. So this is going to be the difference whether you get 1 or 2 deals or whether you build a multi-million-dollar property portfolio. And do you want to have a team that actually works for you to find those desire magnet properties? That's what it is all about. And anything in strategy or property, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. That's why you have your own coach to design a strategy for your specific personal situation. It's a very, very critical element. Are you interested in building a portfolio of desire magnet properties that make passive income and profit each and every year while you're working and busy with life? Right? Is that something that you're interested in? Well, maybe this opportunity is going to be for you right now. So, if you want to get my research team to find your handpicked desire magnet properties for your portfolio so you can grow your wealth faster. If you would love to get a multiple property plan from my team so you know which properties to buy and in which order for best results. If any of that sounds interesting to you, then do you know what? We need to talk. Because you see, we like to work with people that we like. So the first thing to do is to have a no obligation chat with a senior consultant of my team. Here is what they are going to do. No obligation. No obligation. Have this conversation. And then one of our senior team is going to work with you, get on the phone, give you a call, and they're going to review your situation. We're also going to be talking about your goals and your vision to actually understand what you want to create in your life out of your property portfolio. And we'll see if we can help you achieve them at a much faster rate. So here is what you need to do right now. And if after that, then we'll make you an offer that you can work with us, which you're free to accept or decline. No hard feelings either way. Now, let me tell you, this won't be expensive. In fact, your investment will be less than $1,000 to get my team working for you. This is a drop in the ocean, especially when you consider that one desire magnet property could make you 100 times that in 12 months. What if you got access to some of those deals that I've shared with you so far today, like Vince and like Shelley? Less than $1,000, you can get access to all of this. What is expensive, though, is going into the marketplace and buying the wrong property because you don't have the benefit of our $1 billion of marketplace experience, what we've been doing for well over a decade now. So with that being said, look, I invite you to go ahead and book a no obligation chat with our team using the form on this page. So jump on there right now, fill in your details, and one of our senior consultants is going to give you a personal call, review your situation, understand what your goals and vision are, and understand how we can help you achieve them faster. And guess what? If we find it's a fit, I'm going to look forward to connect with you personally and helping you to grow your wealth over the coming years. And it is a beautiful, beautiful journey. So jump on, fill your details in that form right now, lock in your spot, and I'm going to be seeing you soon, and you're going to be talking to one of our senior consultants. So now is the time to get this done. So click on the link and get that done right now.